sea of intellectuals from different prestigious colleges across India. On behalf of our college, I extend a warm welcome all of you for this valedictory session. The time has come to draw a curtain to our program as we come to the close of it. The 6-day CME was definitely a brainstorming event. In the last 5 days, we have had deep insights into several topics of Padartha Vijnana. We had scholars from local and national levels, enlightening us both in theory and in practical applicability to reflect in teaching modules. I now take this opportunity to invite the dignitaries who are on the dais. The guest of honor, Professor Rajaram Shukla from BHU Varanasi, the chief guest, Sampurnananda from BHU Varanasi, chief guest Dr. Vidyanath, retired professor, Government Ayurveda Medical College, Hyderabad, the president of this session, Dr. Ahalya Sharma, the organizing secretary, Dr. Anand Kaddi sir. Thank you. Now it's time for prayer, and I request our students for the prayer. I would also request all delegates to rise for the prayer.
Namami Dhanvantarim Adidevam Surasurai Vandita Pada Padmam Loke Jararukbhaya Mrityunasham Dataramisham Vividaushadinam Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Ragadirogan satatanushaktan asheshataya prasutan asheshan ausukya moharatidan jagana yo purva vaidyaya namostu tasmai.
Now we will have our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony as a tribute to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. I request all the delegates to kindly rise for the lamp lighting. Mother, we pray for your blessings with all humility. Give us wisdom to make this world a better place. May the truth prevail. May the darkness of ignorance be swept away by the dawn of self-realization. Thank you, dignitaries. I now invite the coordinator of the CME, Dr. Megha, Assistant Professor, to render the welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Shreyas, for giving me this welcome speech. I feel immense pleasure and proud to welcome Professor Dr. Rajaram Shuklaji to our valedictory function, who is the head of Vaidik Darshan, Faculty of Sanskrit Vidya Dharma Vijnana, BHU, Varanasi, as a chief guest. I request Principal Ma'am to welcome sir with a kit. I also welcome Dr. Vidyanath, former professor of Government Ayurveda Medical College, Hyderabad, who is another guest with us. I request ma'am to welcome sir with a kit. Today, we have our principal ma'am, that is Ahalya Sharma ma'am, as a president of valedictory function. I welcome you ma'am. On the dais, we also have the organizing secretary of CMA at Bangalore, that is Anand Katti sir. I welcome you sir. Today we also have another resource person, that is Dr. Vaibhav Dadu sir. I welcome you sir. In the hall, we also have members from Chokamba Orientalia. I welcome you sir for the function. I welcome all the delegates who have come up so far and stayed with us all these 6 days, happily enjoying each and every section. I welcome you all for the valedictory. I welcome all the staff of GAMC Mysore and the person who are all present over here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Megha. Now we will be having a small formal certificate distribution. It will be given for 3 delegates. And later on, everybody would be collecting it. So I request Anand Katti sir to kindly call the 3 delegates. We now will be having few opinion sharing from our delegates. Voluntarily, I would request 3 delegates to come and opine about the 6 days CME what you had. So any volunteers? Yeah, please.
Firstly, a very good morning to all. I take this pleasure. I don't know what to say. The 6-day program was such an intensive knowledge loading program. And we had wonderful resource persons. Many of us probably wouldn't have met all these people in a single platform. We had people from North India, we had people from South India, and I'm sorry I used the word people. They were like aptas, I should say, because they gave us so much of information, so many new perspectives, and not just sticking to the traditional background of understanding the Samhita, but also the technological advancements that we can still use in our subject. Like Mohanty ma'am said, ours is an old knowledge, but it's always the modern science. I'm very thankful for Dr. Ahalya ma'am and Anand Katti sir, because without them as being the Karana, none of this would have been possible. And it's also so happy to see all delegates were present all throughout the sessions. And we also had a very interactive, understanding, and we got to know people from different places. And I just have no words to say. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session. I just also request every person in this hall that not just for CME programs, but if there's any other occasion or platforms where we can exchange this knowledge, we certainly need more and more of knowledge coming from such aptas. So kindly give us a chance to learn more and serve not just the students better, not just ourselves better, not just mankind better, but to understand Ayurveda as a science to attain our Purushartha. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, madam.
Very good morning to everyone. Respected dignitaries on the dais and of the dais. Myself, Dr. Nitin Burman. Actually, I have dearth of words to express my feeling. It was a fabulous, tremendous, beautiful program. And all the speakers, they have compelled us to think the matters in different dimensions. And that was the most beautiful points of this 6 days program. And I especially like to thank my sincere thanks to my dear friend, Dr. Anand Katti sir. Our friendship is very newer, only of 6 months, but depth of the friendship is very deeper and deeper. And special thanks to Principal Ma'am. I have seen such a dynamic lady, and very rarely, I think, available in the country, because I have seen many principals and many teachers out of other departments who have less love to the Samhitas. But I have seen only one such person who is from Shalya and loves Samhitas. So thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Katti sir. And my dear friends, it's 6 days, but it will be continued, I think, till the end. So thank you all. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, please, madam.
Shubhodaya. My pranams to dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. It said, Ano Bhadro Krutavo Yantu Vishwataha. We should grasp and collect knowledge from wherever, whichever source it comes from. It's not easy to find good source. I thank the organizers firstly, Dr. Ahalya Madam, Dr. Anand Katti sir, for having made available those resources to us. We have had wonderful resource persons here who have given us a very new perspective. Not that it was not like addition of facts. It was a new view, a new vision, how we can look at things in a different perspective. So we have been blessed to be here among the galaxy of people with so much knowledge. And I think this should not be the end. We know that for seeking knowledge, Adhyayana, Adhyapana and Tadvidya Sambhasha have been told as the best modes. Adhyayana is an ongoing process. Adhyapana will be ongoing. But Tadvidya Sambhasha, I hope, sir, we have more of such gatherings together, more platforms provided to us so that Tadvidya Sambhasha continues and we learn more. So let there be more learning in our lives. Let there be more such sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. It's a great honor for our college to have our chief guest, Professor Rajaram Shukla, Vice Chancellor, Sampurnananda Samskrita Vishwavidyalaya, Varanasi, a dynamic philosopher, a seasoned scholar, and navigator of this flagship of knowledge, an eminent personality from Varanasi. Sir, I request you to share few words with our delegates.
शरदिन्दुविकासिमन्दहासां स्फुरदिन्दीवरलोचनाभिरामाम् अरविन्दसमानसुन्दरास्याम् अरविन्दासनसुन्दरीमुपासे सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. My pranams on the lotus feet of Ma Sharadamba, the mother of all knowledge. Respected scholars on dais, on the scholars coming from different parts of the country. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizers for conducting this wonderful seminar. And I think 6 days seminar, 6 days. During these 6 days, we have discussed many things. Just our madam was saying, Adhyan, Adhyapan. Both Swadhyaya and Pravachan. Swadhyaya Pravachane eveti nako maudgalyaha tadhi tapas tadhi tapaha. These two things are stated as tapas. Swadhyaya and Pravachanam. Whatever you learn during your stay in Gurukulam, this is the Gurukulam. The college, schools, pathshalas, these are known as Gurukulam. Wherever you stay near to your Guru is called Gurukulam. During your stay in Gurukulam, you learn many things. And more to that, you distribute to society what you have learned. This is Pravachanam. And these two things are stated to be tapas, tadhi tapaha. Repeatedly, our Rishi says, these two only are tapas. And you are tapaswins. You learned many things from this discussion, this churning of thoughts, pravachanam from various resource persons. Now this is time for you to contribute something to the society, to your youngsters, your students, and all ordinary people. Padarth Vigyan pe aapne kiya. Padarth Vigyanam is one of the very important issue discussed in different shastras. आप देख सकते हैं वैशेषिक का पदार्थ विज्ञान, आप देख सकते हैं सांख्य दर्शन का पदार्थ विज्ञान, आप देख सकते हैं आयुर्वेद का पदार्थ विज्ञान. Many differences you can find, but ultimately they connect with each other. तो सब कुछ मिल करके एक शास्त्र बनता है. शास्त्र का काम ही है लोक कल्याण करना. आत्म उन्नति के साथ साथ लोक कल्याण, लोक की उन्नति अप टू द लाइब्रेशन, मोक्षा, the highest goal of human being. That is nothing but the absolute negation of sorrow. अब दुख की निवृत्ति हमें चाहिए. प्रजा आरती नाशनम, कष्ट से निवृत्ति चाहिए. कष्ट से निवृत्ति प्रतिदिन होती है. हमें बीमारी होती है, we take medicine, the बीमारी is gone, कष्ट की निवृत्ति हो गई. But no medicine is created so far that हमें भूख लगती है, हम खाना खा लेते हैं, कष्ट से निवृत्ति हो गई. लेकिन कोई भोजन, कोई ऐसी दवा नहीं बनी है which can claim that after eating this you will not get hunger. आपको फिर से बीमारी नहीं होगी, फिर भूख नहीं लगेगी. This guarantee cannot be given by any medicine, any food. But our shastra, हमारे शास्त्र की जो टीचिंग है वो ये बताती है, if you follow this path you will reach to such place, Yan dukkhena sambhinnam nachagrastam anantaram. There will be no sorrow and there will be no possibility of sorrow in future. This is what this guarantee is taken by our Shastras. तो हम बहुत भाग्यशाली हैं कि हम इस तरह की शास्त्र चर्चा में अपने आप को लगाए हुए हैं। चिंतन का यह अवसर मिलता है। यहाँ कोई अध्यापक नहीं होता है, कोई अध्येता नहीं होता, सब अध्यापक है। कुछ थोड़ा बहुत ये ज्यादा जानते हैं, कुछ बातें आप ज्यादा जानते हैं। दिस इज द प्लेस टू शेयर द नॉलेज व्हाट वी हैव। दिस इज द प्लेटफॉर्म ऑन विच एक तरफ एक विद्वान, दूसरी तरफ दूसरा विद्वान बैठकर नॉलेज का विनिमय, शेयरिंग ऑफ नॉलेज, ये इसके लिए सेमिनार होता है। और बहुत सी बातें, द इंफॉर्मेशन वी कलेक्ट फ्रॉम दिस टाइप ऑफ गैदरिंग, और उस इंफॉर्मेशन को, उस सूचना को ज्ञान में परिवर्तित करना है। इट हैज टू बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू द तत्व ज्ञान। अभी बहुत सी चीजें हमने इकट्ठा कर ली है, हम घर जा करके विचार करेंगे वट एवर इज यूजफुल टू अस, कुछ आवश्यक नहीं है। और आफ्टर द चर्निंग ऑफ इनर थॉट्स वी कम टू कंक्लूजन दैट दिस इज द तत्व ज्ञान, ये तत्व ज्ञान है। और दिस इज द फाइंडिंग ऑफ द सेमिनार स्टेइंग इन लास्ट 6 days, जितने भी आप दिन रहते हैं। दूसरी बहुत जो महत्वपूर्ण बात इस तरह के सेमिनार से होती है कि वी गेट गुड फ्रेंड्स फ्रॉम डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द कंट्री। हम लोग एक दूसरे को नहीं जानते होते हैं, ऐसी दोस्ती हो जाती है, ऐसी मित्रता होती है। ज्ञान के क्षेत्र में, व्यक्तिगत क्षेत्र में हम अपने व्यक्तिगत विचार भी साझा कर सकते हैं, ज्ञान संबंधी विचार भी साझा कर सकते हैं। यह भी एक इस तरह की संगोष्ठियों का प्रतिफलन होता है। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है इन 6 दिनों में बहुत अच्छी चर्चाएं, बहुत अच्छे विचार आप लोगों ने किए होंगे, बहुत कुछ एक दूसरे को बांटा होगा, अपने सुख दुख भी बांटे होंगे। कल घर जा करके आप सोचेंगे कि हमने क्या पाया और कितना पाया, इससे ज्यादा हमें क्या मिलना है, और प्रतीक्षा करेंगे दूसरी इस तरह की किसी संगोष्ठी की। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. I'm sure all the delegates will apply this Tattva Gnana in the day's future. So now we shall felicitate our chief guest of honor. I request our principal, Dr. Esa Halia Madam, to do the honors. Thank you, madam. Words fall short to describe our principal, madam, Dr. Esa Halia. 7 simple words: dream big, make it happen, and work hard. So with this, I request our principal, madam, to render the presidential address.
यत्रैव यत्रैव मनोमदीयं तत्रैव तत्रैव तव स्वरूपं यत्रैव यत्रैव शिरोमदीयं तत्रैव तत्रैव पदद्वयं ते. It has been a very happy morning for us here, having with us our very special guest today, Professor Rajaram Shukla ji, Dr. Vidyadhar ji. When the intentions are correct, when we have the right intentions, the right things manifest. It was indeed a very beautiful coincidence a great yadricha that occurred that we had Professor Ji at our house this morning. We were grateful to have him there, and I requested him to come over here and address. And what a beautiful presidential address that you all had. I think the program went on so well. Sir, all the 6 days, all the 30 of them were there for all the sessions. Every resource person came on time, delivered their lectures on time, and by God's grace, we had no other obstructions, hindrances. So when the intentions are good, but from both the ends, I think it has met what it was meant to do. When Sir was speaking, the word that came to my mind was Jignasa. You have all studied, learned, you're all masters in your own field. The word Jignasa actually means a drida nischayatmaka jnana which you are going to pursue. Unlike a nischayatmaka jnana that you understand, this is what you pursue. Athato brahma jignasa, until I know what it is. So this is what it is going to be until we make our students understand Padartha Vijnana. That is the sankalpa with which we should move out of the hall, and never should 30 of us into 60. So there are 1,800 students who will never ever complain that this is a difficult subject. So that is the uddesha of this CME that Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapeeth has granted to us. As I want to close it down and let the other speaker continue, I must extend my thanks to Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapeeth. It has been their goodness that they gave us this seminar, and we have tried to do all the justice here. We have had wonderful resource people, wonderful delegates who have participated through and through, and we have had the presence of great acharyas like Professor Shukla ji, Professor Vidyadhar ji, and others. And as the person who was behind the organizing secretary, which I must acknowledge and place on record that he has done a wonderful job, and I foresee a very good future to my colleague, both in academics and in the other sectors that he wants, a very sincere worker, ably supported by Dr. Megha. I think we have done the best that the college could, and I hope you all enjoy. Jivane yavadadanam syat pradanam tatodikam ityesha prarthana smakam Bhagavan paripuryatam. We are all blessed in so many ways to be living in a very comfortable society, to have had all the good that we have had. It's now time for us to pay back, and let's do it wholeheartedly. Hari Om, Jai Hind.
Thank you, madam. The 6-day CME was made possible by few hands, heart, and minds working together. One among them is our organizing secretary, Dr. Anand Katti sir. To express gratitude, I invite sir to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Hold your hands because you need to clap first with you. Well, Bhishak Bhishaja Saha Sambhashet. A physician should interact with a physician to get updated, to get new avenues, to get new ideas, to get new knowledge, so that we get the opportunity to train our students to the best possible level. So that has been the purpose of this Tadvidya Sambhasha, the continuing medical education, which was sponsored by the Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapeeth. We were fortunate enough to get the funds, and we could arrange it and get it executed in time. So on this valedictory function, I take the few names to acknowledge, to express my gratitude. The first among them happens to be our beloved principal madam, Dr. Ahalya Sharma madam. Right from the conception of this idea, right from the application, right from everything, continuously following up, extending her warmest support. The moment I approached her, immediately, without taking any time, keeping aside all her works, she would approve the things, she would give suggestions, she would guide me in getting the things done. Without her presence, without her support, this program would have been impossible. I wholeheartedly acknowledge her support for the successful culmination of this program. Thank you so much, madam. Secondly, the chief guest of the today, Dr. Rajaram Shukla ji. So we all are aware of the fact that we belong to Samhita Siddhanta department, and Samhitas are in Sanskrit language. And a basic know-how of Sanskrit is very much essential to understand our Samhitas. So we go hand in hand with Sanskrit, and hailing from a prestigious Sampurnananda Samskrita Vishwavidyalaya from Varanasi. Varanasi is so famous, it's known to be this knowledge place where we have, in context of Annam Bhatta, there is one quotation comes, Kashi Gamana Matrena na Annam Bhattayate Dvijaha. So that is, everyone who goes to Kashi will not be Annam Bhatta. Annam Bhatta was an exceptional person. So hailing from such place, we have our chief guest for today, Dr. Rajaram Shuklaji, who made all his way. I extend a warmest congratulations and thanks for his presence over here. The next we have on stage our another senior respected resource person, Dr. Vidyanath sir, professor from Hyderabad Government Ayurveda College, who will be delivering lecture hereafter. I extend my gratitude for him also for his presence. And next is I have to take the name of my beloved colleague, Dr. Megha. So without her, it could have been impossible. So she has had some major issue in her life. Even forgetting all that, in a span of 6 or 7 days, she could do so many things. I want a big round of applause for her. Then we have the support, the elite group. When we actually selected 15 delegates from 15 different states. We ended up having 12 state representations, and all 12 state, all people who are assembled here are elite in their own way. Everyone is very enthusiastic, everyone is highly committed to the cause of Ayurveda, and I extend a very hearty congratulations and gratitude for all of you to making to Bangalore, to this college, and being a part of this CME, extending a very heartfelt thanks to all of you. Now, as I said, we are only the 3 members in this department, principal, me and Megha. And without the support of our colleagues in other departments in this college, it could have been not of this significance or this importance. So we have teachers from different departments who chipped in with all their support in successful culmination. So I take this opportunity to thank all the staff, teaching, non-teaching, office staff of this institution for supporting me. And we have 2 or 3 more things, persons whom I should congratulate. I have to acknowledge the various resources. Resources ranging from the All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi, from Gujarat Ayurveda University, from Hyderabad, from the local 4 resource persons. Everyone stick to their task. Everyone performed their best. Everyone was highly committed to give their best to you. I wholeheartedly acknowledge their presence, their lectures, and thank them on all of your behalf. Now we have food arranged by Mr. Bhaskar, accommodation Chetan International Hotel, and we have the kit, everything provided by Mr. Vijay Kumar and others whom I cannot name. I may not name few of the things. Photographer, we have Mr. Sondur. So I acknowledge everyone indirectly, directly supporting this program. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. With this, we conclude our valedictory session. We shall continue the scientific sessions in few minutes.
Good morning to you all. I welcome to the CME program of this 6 days. I think you might have enjoyed and you share your knowledge, and you might have gained at least something what you had as on date. This 6 days program might have been helpful for you to teach something to your students. I think, am I right? Yeah. So, first of all, I would like to say congrats to the organizers, and especially Anand Khati and the principal, Madam Ahalya ji.
because they have put a lots of this efforts for organizing this seminar. It's not so easy to organize a 6-day CME program. I was also worked as a principal, and I know the difficulties in organizing this sort of programs. To propagate and to communicate the information to all the faculty members of various corners of this country and showing interest towards attending this program from different parts of the country. So just now I have learned or known that from different states, at least 15 states, you are coming from this program and spending 6 days away from your home and attending this program obviously for 6 days is appreciable. And here, you're all teachers. And my topic has been given is a general and simple topic and already known by you people. But here I would like to communicate the information, importance of Padartha Vignan and how best it will be useful to the students of Ayurveda, and what is the importance of Padartha Vignan at the initial level, and how you are trying to make understand the subject of Padartha Vignan at the level of first BAMS. It is not at all easy to make understand Padartha Vignan by a teacher to the freshers, because all the terms of Ayurveda are new to the first year BMS students. They are aware of all these terms, and that's why you are in a position to make them understand each and every technical term in the initial level itself. In the initial level means, so when they are joined in the college, you should try to what you call this, attract or try to make them this interest toward the subject of Ayurveda by giving these simple examples and try to give this what you call the meaning of each and every technical term. That is the most important aspect. So that's why after having this 30 years of teaching experience, I have seen number of students and what is the tendency of a student. If you attend the class, at least 70 to 80% students are mediocre students. Only 5% students are the toppers and intelligence. You need not bother about those students. And 5 to 10% students are having some knowledge. And if you can give some, what you call this, motivation, they can grasp and they will be reaching the next level. But we should concentrate on the 70% of these mediocre students, or 70 to do at times 80% also. So that is the important task, that because we, the people of this Samitas, these teachers, it is the responsibility of we people, the department of Samhita, motivate to drag interest towards Ayurveda. This is this in your hands, in our hands. So why? Because the first 1 month you take, no problem. You take 1 month time to try to understand the subject of Ayurveda. What is history of Ayurveda? What is Padartha Vignan? What is this Samhita? What is Ashtanga Hridaya? And the basics should be what you call learn, or which you should teach the basics in the first 1 month. All the information, general information should be reached to the student community. Otherwise, if you start what you call teaching the subject in the first class itself, it is not so easy to reach the student community. So for which you take 1 month, no problem. So this is the methodology what I am adopting for the past 30 years, and to try to drag the attention of the students in the first class itself and motivate them and try to this what you call show some interest towards Ayurveda, because they are somewhat some frustration mood, because they might not have got the rank, proper rank, and unable to join in medical college, and by chance, it's not a choice, by chance, they are joining in Ayurvedic colleges. So in such circumstances, you should motivate them. And Ayurveda is not inferior to any other medical sciences. Ayurveda is the science, not only a medical science, it's a physical science, it's a social science, it's a moral science, it's a ethical science, and everything. What not? Ayurveda tells everything. I think you might have remembered the quotation from Vagbhata. The single word quotation is enough for an Ayurvedic doctor to become this, what you call, popular in the society, and also having the professional satisfaction. So what he quoted is how a doctor should be. So, Anathan Rogino Escha, Putravat Sampachre. I think you might have got this quotation. Anathan Rogino Escha, Putravat Sampachre. So, this is the most important thing. And if you follow the what you call say inner meaning of that quotation, you will be a successful practitioner, you will be appreciated, you will be having professional satisfaction, you will be the number one in the society in comparison with any one of the medical professionals. So what he is trying to communicate here is Anathan Rogino Yascha Putravat Samupajre. Whoever comes to you as a patient, you should treat that particular individual as your own kith and kin. That's the most important. So whatever the suggestion you are giving to your this son or your relatives or your friends, your family, the same information, the what you call same suggestion should be given to that particular patient also. You should not try to write the number of this what you call this prescriptions or this what you call investigations. Not so. Whenever your this close friend comes to you, what you are trying to give the information, okay, uncle, this you need not bother about this, just we'll try it with this simple medicine. Let us see for a few days or 1 or 2 days. If the medicine works, it's good. Otherwise, we'll go for investigations. This is the information what we are suggestion we are trying to give you are these close friends. But what is going on as on date, and how the medical profession is going to become this what you call this, this what you call this in the bad, this what you call this this thing is going on, this reputation, bad reputation. So why it is happening? So if you go deep into the Ayurvedic ethics and this what you call is the principles, if you are sticking on the principles, dharma, artha, kama, mokshanam, this is enough. So what you are trying to do is, you are supposed to do is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This is enough. So whatever you are doing, that should be as per the rituals lane, dharma, artha, money. So how much money is required for your this healthy, happy and comfortable life? Is there any bar? No. So if you are having some 1 lakh rupee, are you satisfied with that? 2 lakhs, or 100 crores, what you are trying to with that? What is the necessity of more than your requirement? You are keeping in the money. You treat that, okay, and the complete SBI is ours. The total money is deposited in the bank is mine. You treat it. Whatever you are doing, whenever you are earning some crores of rupees, depositing in the bank, and you treat that whatever the money deposited in the bank is yours. What is there? So that's why what I'm trying to communicate here is, don't try to this what you call run for money. Money will automatically comes to you. So whenever you are following the principles, money will comes to you, and you need not run for money. And here our this is this one. Yes. Previous. Okay. So our subject is importance of Padartha Vignan in Ayurveda. And what is meant by Padartha, and importance of Padartha Vignan. These are the three aspects I am going to do. And how this Padartha Vignan. So whenever you are dealing the first year students, you should give complete this table in the first few classes. First few classes means within 10 days or 15 days or take 1 month. So the students should be having the complete idea about this Padartha Vignan in a simple table. So what are the Padarthas and what are the Padarthas means Sapta Padartha, 6 plus 1, and Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha and Samvaya. And what is meant by Dravya and what is meant by Guna, Karma, and the points should be reached to the young minds of the freshers. So then only he will be having a clear-cut idea and he will be able to understand what is Padartha Vignan. The simple table will give the complete picture about the first paper of Padartha Vignan. So first paper, part A, contains this Dravya, and second paper contains Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha, Samvaya and Abhava. Right? Okay. Here, this Pada is the word. Padamcha Varna Samuham. So Varna Samuham. You are all aware of all these things. Again, only for how to teach the youngsters, I am going to tell this here. So Varna Samuha. So number of words are there, these letters are there. The letters of the combination of these letters, the known as, example, Ayurveda. Ayurveda contains A, Y, U, R, V, E, D, A. These are the letters. And if you are combining these letters, you will be getting one word that is known as Ayurveda. That word should be having some meaning. So then only the word is having some importance. And Sektam Padam is, it should be having some power. So whether you are talking about this mantras. So mantras having the power or not? Whether mantras are having power or not? High. Power high. So Dr. Karnik, C.R. Karnik has worked on this particular aspect and he has given this what you call this Gayatri mantra while this what you call growing some plant, Tulasi, and that he is trying to record that Gayatri mantra every day and trying to this what you call grow that particular this Tulasi and another plant without this Gayatri mantra. He has tried what you call experimented the efficacy of that this what you call Tulasi and how it is going to work for various disease conditions. And also Vacha, the growth of this plant and the relationship with this lunar phase. Lunar phase and the growth of this plant is also having the efficacy. This is this what you call this practical this thing has been conducted by C.R. Karnik. So that's why a single word is also having some power. So simple example, whenever you are dealing with your kids, okay, and the kid is going to celebrate his or her birthday, okay, and the kid is asking about this, mommy, tomorrow is my birthday, I am going to distribute some chocolate and this thing, and I want this one, that one, okay. The word what is being used by the parents, okay, Nana, so I will give. and no. NO and OK. These two words are having such a power of being the kid happy or unhappy. Okay. Similarly, the mantras is also having a definite impact, and it's having a power to what you call this, having that what you call this, whenever this mantra is having a definite power, right? The authors also telling about this Sektam Padam, which is having the capacity to tell the meaning. And Sektaha Sabhiprayo Varno Varna Samuho Padam. So, Sektaha Sabhiprayo Varnaha Varna Samuho. This is called Pada. And if you go the dictionary meaning about this Pada, is having the foot or step, or the term, or the concept, and the word. These are the technical or the dictionary meanings of this pada. And if you go to the Vastu Shastra, the meaning of is having the house or a residence. And if you go to the meaning of this pada, according to the Indian history or geography, it can be tell about the meaning of this village. Pada, Janapadodvansha. So Janapada means a gram, or this a village, or the complete hamlet. So in this way, pada is having a different meanings. These are all known as this homonyms. Okay, next slide, please. So here, Chakrapani has given the information about this, what is pada, how a pada should be, and Srotrujana pravrutti hetuhu abhideyaha prayojana sambandho upadarshakam, and it should be having some meaning. Meaning, suppose the words, what we are talking about, these letters, this A, Y, U, R, B, E, D, A, like so, Ka, Cha, Ta, Ta, Pa. So, is there any meaning of these letters? There is no meaning. And he has given clear information about this, how a word should be. A word should be having some certain meaning, and it should be having some prayojan. You should be having some purpose. That's why, while starting the Samhita itself, Chakrapani has given clear information about the aphorism is started with Adhato Dirgham Jivitiyam Adhyayam Vyakhyachama. These are the 8 words of the first aphorism, and he has given the clear information about these are the words which are having a definite meaning and having a definite purpose. What is the meaning of these words? And Tatraiha Abhideyam. What is the Abhideya of this Shastra? Hita Hitam Sukandukam Aishta Shahita Hitam. This is the Abhideya. And what is the Prayojana? So, Prayojanam cha asya. Prayojanam cha asya. Dhatu Samyam. Dhatu Samyam Kriya Choktam Tantrasya asya Prayojanam. Okay. So, Dhatu Samya is a Prayojana. How this Dhatu Samya will be happening with Padartha Vijnana. So that is the motto of this today's topic. Dhatu Samya is the ultimate aim of this Padartha Vijnana. And what are Padarthas? How this Dhatu Samya will be attained by using these Padarthas, right? And here he has given clear in this, what you call this maxim, Nyaya. Kakadanta Pariksha Nyaya. What is meant by Kakadanta Pariksha Nyaya? Is there having any teeth? Because if it is not having this purpose, there is no use of what you call reading that particular book also. So whenever you are reading a particular book, you should be having some what you call meaning, and you should be having some purpose. So without purpose, there is no need of reading that particular book. So that's why whenever a scholar is going to pick up any one of the books from the rack, so how you are going to pick up the book from the rack? So by seeing the cover page, or it is being attracted, or whatever the thing may be, the step to open that book, you should go to the preface. Preface must be read by every Samhita, this scholar. So otherwise you cannot know what is the intention of the author and what he is trying to communicate in that particular book. and the Uddesh, what is the Uddesha and Nirdesh? So Uddesha is being clearly mentioned in the initial, this what you call the preface itself, and by reading this preface, you can able to understand what is the information he is trying to give by the author. So that's why this it is not having any purpose. It is just like counting the teeth of a crow. Next slide. So padartha. So already we are talking about this pada and padartha. Pada, artha. There are two words, pada and artha. The meaning of a word is known as padartha, and yo artho abhitaha sutre padeva sa padartha. And here padasya padayo padanam vardha. Either one word or two words are made. That should be having some meaning. So if you can see the homonyms, so if you are talking about the spring, what you are supposed to understand about the spring, whether it's season or it's this iron spring, or about this cold, whether it's a disease condition or a cold season, or about this bat, whether it's a mammal or it's a bat used for this play, and the scales means measurements or the scales of a fish, or these glasses. So in this way, you should be having a clear idea about what is the meaning of that particular word at that particular context. So that is the most important. So to understand the meaning of that particular word at that particular context, you should be known about this the pre and context. So if you can able to understand. So for example, rasa. So we are talking about rasa in the first year. So it is not the rasa means mercury in the first year itself. You are talking about rasa, rakta, mamsa, there are sapta dhatus. Like so, rasa is having several meanings. So you are all aware of that. That's why, according to the context, you should be able to understand what is the word, what is the meaning of that word at that particular context. Next slide, please. So here, the Shushruta has given the clear information about this, the pada artha. Adhuna bahusha padartheshu nidharya visishta padartha grahanaya padartha bahutvam pratipadayati aparimita ityadi. So there are padartha number, many a number, or innumerous number of padarthas are there. And whenever you are talking about sneha, so which sneha is to be taken? And you should not be in a confused mood. Snehas are four number or the important snehas. So among those, which sneha is to be taken at that particular context? Either it's a Gruta, Taila, Vasa or Macha. Like so, and Sveda Sabdena api Sagni Niragnikayo Ushmano Praptihi. So whether this Sveda, whether it's Agni Sveda or Niragni Sveda, that should be confirmed. So according to the need of the hour, you should take up which of the Sveda is to be useful at that particular context. Next slide, please. And Anjana Sabdayo api Nayananjanam Abhyangayo Praptihi. Anjana is also having two meanings. One is colarium and also having the meaning of Abhyanga. So whether you are supposed to go for this colarium or this application of this Netranjana or Abhyanga, body massage. And similarly, he has given the example about this Vedotpati. This is the first chapter of Sutrastan Shusha. Okay. So here he has given this Vedotpati. He has not mentioned the word of Ayurveda. So Veda, so which Veda is to be taken? Whether among the four Vedas, Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharvana, or here in this particular context, you are supposed to go for this Ayurveda. Next slide, please. So Pramiti Vishaya Padartha, this is the definition from Sapta Padartha. So Pramiti Vishaya Padartha, what is meant by Pramiti? Pramiti means is the real knowledge or right knowledge. So a padartha which is knowable, nameable is also known as padartha. It should be knowable and nameable. And here he has given this information about that. Pramiti is the real knowledge or right knowledge, and it is distinguished from Brahma. So misapprehension should not be there. It is a real knowledge or this right yadartha anubhava. It's like Rajju and Sarpa. So what is whether it is a Rajju or Sarpa? So in this what you call darkness, you may be misapprehend or you may be having some Brahma, whether it is a this what you call snake or a rope. So Padartha is the known as Pramiti is known as the right knowledge. Next slide. So Pajyate Gamete Enartha Sabadartha. So this is also known. And here in the fourth chapter of this Sutrasthana of Sushruta, he has given a this what you call wonderful this analogy. So what he has quoted here is Yatha Khara Chandana Bharavahi Bharasya Veta Natu Chandanasya Evam hi Shastrani Bahuni Adhini cha Artheshu Muda Kharavat Vahanti and Artheshu Muda Agnanavat Gardhavavat Shastram Vahanti. So simply by reading books without knowing the meaning is just like Kharavat Bharavahanti. So what I mean to say is just now the students of first years, they read the quotation, this what you call shloka, Ragadirogan. So can you quote Ragadirogan?
Ragadiroga satatanushaktan asheshakaya prasatana seshan Autsukya moha aratidan jagana yo purva vaidyaya namostu tasmai yo apurva vaidyaya namostu tasmai.
So what they have read? Yo vaidyaya moha rati. So yeah, moha arati. So should be this is the responsibility of we people. At the first year itself, you should give this what you call how to read a sloka and how to split where the word should be split, and you should give the proper meaning of each and every word at the first year itself. So that is the responsibility of you people. So otherwise, they will be by hearting and without knowing the meaning, that's useless, just like dog. Okay. So tasmat Savinsham Adhyayam Setam Anu Pada Sloka Anuvarnaiti. So this is the most important. Pada and Sloka. How you are supposed to read. So already we are discussing about these three categories of students. The highly intellectual students can go for this complete Sloka. So middle class, they can go for this one Pada. For mediocre and less intelligent people, you are supposed to give the information about the Pada. Every Pada. You should split the word and give this what you call this. In such a way, they should be in a position to by heart each and every shloka. Otherwise, they can't grasp. So here, the shloka is Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvighram Kurume Deva Subha Karyesh Sarvada. So this Sarvakaresh Sarvada, there are some part of it is also there. And this can be read or this what you call by heart by the intelligent people at a stretch. Complete shloka. For middle class, they will go for this one pada. And for this mediocre, this what you call this, mediocre or less intelligent people, you are supposed to give Vakratunda, Mahakaya, Surya Koti, Samaprabha, Nirvighram Kurume Deva Sarvakaryesh Sarvada. So in this way you are supposed to split the words. So Sarirajanam Doshanam. So that also Sarirajanam Doshanam. You should give the meaning of that. What is meant by Saririka Dosha? What are the Saririka Doshas? Vayum Pittam Kapha Chet. Okay. Vata Pitta Kapha. Okay. Why Vata Pitta Kapha? Why not Kapha Pitta Vata? Why? Order means, so according to this what you call this status of these doshas, first this kapha, pitta and vata. Why the order being altered and why it has been given as vata, pitta, kapha? Is there any specific this thing is there? Correct. So vata is being giving the maximum importance. It is the Neta, Niyanta, it's the leader, it's the dictator. whatever is being told by Vata, the rest of this dhatus and malas should be followed. That's why it has given the prominence. That's why, this what you call this, according to this, the number of this disease conditions. Asiti Vata Vyati. What are these conditions are known as? Nanatmaja means Atmaja. So Nanatmaja Vyadis, you take this number of these Vata Vyadis are 18 number and Pitta are 40 and Kapha. So in that way also the order is being given as, this is being followed since these ancestors. That's why this order of this doshas means Kramena. So, Sharirjanam, Doshanam, Kremana, this is the order, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. This should be reached to the first years. So, Sharirjanam, Doshanam, Kremena, Param Aushadham, the best medicine. So, medicine is of two types. One is Chodhana and Samana. He has clearly stated that Vastir Vireko Vamanam, Tatha, Thailam, Gritam, Madhu. So, this should be reached to the first year. First year student of this all 50 students. So for which you take one more class, two more class, no problem. But the information at the first year and the first introductory classes are most important. The subject should be reached to the mediocre student also. Right? Next slide, please. So Padartha Swarupa. So Charaka has quoted about this number of Padarthas. Vivitham eva khalu sarvam satya asatya. Tasya chaturvidha pariksha aptopadeshaha pratyaksham anumanam yuktihi cha iti. Right? Okay. So here, what he has quoted in this commentary, sarvam iti yat kinchit pramana pratiyamanam. That is the most important. Yat kinchit sarvam pramana pratiyamanam. Tad dvitham aha satya asatya sad iti vidhi vishaya pramana gamyam Bhava Rupam. Asad iti Nishedha Vishaya Pramana Gamyam Bhava Rupam. Right? So, in this way, so he has given definition of this Sat and Asat by the commentator. Next slide, please. So, this is the classification you know, and this information should reach the first years. The classification according to Charaka is two types, Sat and Asat, and according to Sushruta, so innumerable in number or infinite, or according to Vaisesha, order is Dravya Guna Karma, and according to Ayurveda, order is altered, and according to Karikavali, Sankhya Darshana, 25 Padarthas, so Shodasa, Astavida Prakriti and Shodasa Vikriti, and also Purusha, and according to Yoga Darshana, and 25 plus 1 Ishvara they have added. Next slide, please. And Vedanta, 2 types, and according to Mimamsa, 8 types, and Ayurveda, order is altered, and according to Nyaya Darshana, they are 16 in number. So, Prashasta Pada, Shanam api Padarthanam, Astitvam, Abhideyatvam, Gneyatvam iti. So, these are the features of these Padarthas told by Prashasta Pada. He is the Bhashyakata of Vaisheshika Darshana. So, Astitvam, Abhideyatvam, Gneyatvam. Next. So, here, what is the utility and aim of Padartha Jnana? So, the most important, the task or this responsibility of the teacher to make the student, the foundation should be strong at the first year itself. And Ayurveda Padartha Jnana is the basic knowledge for everything, for the treating a disease, and what is how to treat a patient by utilizing these Padarthas, that is going to be dealt later. And the strong foundation is the most important for the prolonged existence of a house. Similarly, the root is strong, the tree also survives. So, if the basic knowledge base is strong at the first year, the student will be flourished. Otherwise, he is not in a position to grasp the subject knowledge. He is going to be perverted, and he may not show any interest towards Ayurveda, and he is going to switch on to other, this what you call do at times. After completion of first year, second year, third year also, he is trying to go for MCET examinations. That should not be happening. And if you are dealing all the 60 members or 50 members or 100 members, this information should reach how Ayurveda is superior to other systems of medicine. That should reach the young minds of the students in the first introductory classes itself. Next slide, please. So these are the padarthas, bhava padartha, abhava padartha. So here, dravya, guna and karma are known as one set, and samanya, vishesha and samvaya. So you should be know these padarthas are dravya, guna, karma, samanya, vishesha, samvaya and abhava. So whether abhava is having any importance in Ayurveda or not, first point. Is it fine? So how this abhava will be useful for Ayurveda in the treatment aspect? Can you tell me?
We have concepts like Langana Upavasadi, where it is the abhava of the ahara that we are taking. We have something like Jwara Mukta Lakshana, we have Atisara Mukta Lakshana. So abhava of the previous Lakshana itself we see to see that they are relieved from disorders. So these are few of the applications that we can see about abhava.
Correct. Whenever you are designating a particular individual person, basing on the signs and symptoms, he is suffering with so and so condition. After relieving of the symptoms, you can be able to know that he is free from those symptoms. And those symptoms are not existing, means abhava of that particular symptoms can be inferred that that particular individual is free from that disease condition. So in such a way, you can understand and you can interpret the importance of abhava in Ayurveda. Next slide, please. So Samanya and Vishesha. Here the classification, Dravya Samanya, Guna Samanya, Karma Samanya, and Atyanta Samanya, Madhyama Samanya, and Ekadesh Samanya, Ekavritti and Upayavritti. So whether these are really having any importance or not, first point. Yes. Okay. Okay, we'll discuss the same thing in the later part. And similarly, Dravya Vishesha, Guna Vishesha, and Karma Vishesha. This is what you call superficially talking about these things. We may categorize this Samanya and Vishesha in different aspects, and ultimately what Bhattar Harishchandra told in the commentary we'll discuss. Next. So this is the table you are supposed to give. This table should be in the young minds of the fresh students. So if you can give this complete picture in the first year, in the introductory classes itself, that will be having the idea about this. The Dravya is of Karana, this what he calls Karana Dravya, and Karya Dravya is of 2. And Karana Dravyas are 9 in number. Khadinyatma Manahkalo, this is Dravya Sangraha. And what is meant by Kha Adi, you should give. This is the important. Why? You know everything. I am not giving the information to you people. You should pass on this information to the students. That's why I am stressing here. Right? So Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. These are the Panchamahabhutas. Dik, Kala, Manas, and Atma. These are the 9. Yes, and the classification of this Panchamahabhutas. So you are talking about this Akasha is Vibhu, whereas Vayu, Agni, Jala and Prithvi there are 2 types of Paramanu and Avayavarupa. Paramanu is Nitya and Avayavarupa is Anitya. Anitya is also of 3 types known as Vishaya Sangnika, Indriya Sangnika and Sharira Sangnika. So this information should be. So this is not so difficult for you to this what you call show these seeds in the young minds of these students. So if they can able to understand this picture, this table, and this is not so difficult for them to understand Ayurveda, right? And here also this Dik is of 10 types of this, all this directions and corners, and this Akasha and this Nagi, Brahmi and Nagi. And also this Kala. So Kala is of this Nityaga and Avastika. And also Atma. Atma is of 3 types. This one is Paramatma, Jivatma and Ativahika Purusha. And regarding Manas. So Manas is the vast information is given in the 8th chapter of Sutrasthana, Indriyopakramani Adhyaya. So there this this what you call gunas of mana is described, and what are they? Anutvam athacha ekatvam, dvagunam. So they have given this nyayas, 3 nyayas. Utpala Satapatra Vedini Nyaya and Alat Chakradarshina. So this is the first this particular introductory classes itself. You should give this information. What is so whenever we are reading this Padartha Vijnana in the year 1977, and the teachers are coming to the classroom and they are telling about Atma Manasu. We are what you call this in a position that we are not in a position to understand what is Atma, what is Manasu, why you are they are telling about what is this Atma, Ativa, Purusha. So this confusion should not be there in your students. You should give this proper the what you call this the explanation and why you are talking about this Atma and Manas. Manas is most important, and diseases are also classified in 2 types: Sharirika Vyadhis and Manasik Vyadhis. That's why you are going for this Manas. Atma, without Atma, there is no need of treating a patient. So that's why Atma, Manas and Kala, how Kala is important, and the practical utility of Kala, and how this Kala is useful for this whenever you are treating a patient, and Aushadha Sevana Kalas. These are all having the practical utility, and this Dik also having the practical importance, and where from this what you call the construction of Rashala, or this what you call the collection of the drugs from various these directions. These are all the practical aspects of this Kala and Dik. Right. Next. Karya Dravyas are this Chetana and Achetana. Chetana is also of 2 categories. So Bahiranta Chetana and Anta Chetana. And here, this Bahiranta Chetana, Jara, Ija, and Ajaz. So this table should reach to the first year students. Okay. And what is the definition of this? Vanaspati, Vanaspati, Aushadha and Virutha, Phalair Vanaspati, Pushpair Vanaspati, Phalair Api, and Pratanai Virudha Smitaha, Oshadayaha Phalapakanta. So these simple definitions also should what you call reach to the first years. Next slide. So another classification of Dravya, you can go for this. Dravya is Pratyaksha and Apratyaksha, and Aushadha Dravya and Ahara Dravya. Aushadha Dravya is having this Virya Pradhana, and Ahara Dravya is Rasa Pradhana. And also another classification is go for this Dosha Samana and Dosha Pradushana and Swastha Hita. And another classification is there Dravyas are 3 types: Jangama Dravya, Audbheda Dravya, and Partha Dravya. So if you can give this information to the first years, so they can understand, okay, so this complete Ayurveda is embedded in Padartha Vijnana only. So Ahara is in Padartha Vijnana, Aushadha is in Padartha Vijnana, different types of this what you call materia medica. So materia medica of this plant origin, animal origin, and metals and minerals. All are embedded in Padartha Vijnana only. Whenever you are this what you call talking about this Karanakari Siddhanta, we'll go for that one. And Karanakari Siddhanta is the most important, the principle, and it comes under which category? Siddhantas are 4 types. Karanakari Siddhanta comes under which category of these 4? Okay. It comes under Adhikarana Siddhanta. Adhikarana Siddhanta, because whenever you are talking about this only this Karakarana Siddhanta, it covers the rest of the allied principles also. And this you can this the principle of this Panchamahabhut Siddhanta and also Samanya Vishaya Siddhanta comes under. And this Karakarana Siddhanta can be applicable at every level. So not only here, so for every way it can be applicable. What is Karana and what is Karya? What is the cause to attend this CME? What is the cause? No. Why you are supposed to come over here? What is the cause to attending this seminar? There must be some karna. That is the purpose. The karna. What is karna? Why you are supposed to be here? Pardon? Academic. Okay, good. There must be some reason. Reason means received information, that is one karna. Almost this throughout country, all the college people or the college faculty of this Samhita people are received this information, but they are not attended here. The desire to attend. Oh, you are having a strong desire. Desire is karna. That's why you are able to attend here. Okay, and for every aspect, this karna karya siddhanta can be applicable, or you can apply and you can show certain examples to your students. And so, what is the karna for joining this Ayurveda college by the freshers? They are not able to get the admission in MBBS. They are not getting the proper rank. That is karna. And whatever the rank they are getting, they will be able to get this admission in only Ayurveda. That's why they joined here. That's karna. So every this what you call effect, there must be a specific cause, right? Next, and classification of gunas. So here gunas are according to Ayurveda 41. This number and names should reach to the first years. So in the first year, it's about within 1 month, the table should be by hearted by the students, so that they will be not having any confusion. So total Padartha Vignan is in their brain. That should be recorded. Okay. Vaisheshik gunas are 5 in number, and Karmanya Samanya guna. There are 2 other synonyms for this. Gurvadi guna, Dvandva guna. Okay. So in examination also, do at times, if you are giving this Karmanya Samanya guna, they can write. And Gurvadi guna, they can write. So if they can ask about to write about Dvandva guna, that also you should give the information to the students. Okay, whatever the question asked by the examiner, even it's a Dvandva guna or Karmanya Samanya guna or Gurvadi guna, the answer is the same. Right. So Atma gunas are Buddhi, Shukam, Dukkham, Ichha, Dvesham and Prayat and Paradi guna. So what is the difference between this Gurvadi gunas and Paradi gunas? This also should give the brief information about the students in the first year itself. So Paradi gunas are not existing inside, they are outside. And how these Paradi gunas are going to be helpful for treating a patient, that's important. So each and every this Paradi gunas should be explained briefly. That is not so difficult for them to grasp. If you can able to give the proper information, definitely they can grasp the complete picture of this total table, and what is guna, what is the Paradi guna, what is Dvandva guna, what is this thing, what is Atma guna. Everything will be recorded and they can be able to reproduce. Next slide, please. So karma is of ukshepana, apakshepana, akunchana, prasarana and gamana. So according to Ayurveda also, it can be categorized as the practical orientation of Pancha Karma is also karma, and Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma, Paschat Karma, this also you can quote. And this total picture should be in the young minds. Next slide, please. So Abhava, already we are talking about this. So Samsarga Abhava and Anyonya Abhava and the categories, and you should quote some examples. Next slide, please. So this is the quotation and the most important one. Ityuktam karanam karyam dhatu samyam ihochyate. Dhatu samya kriya chokta tantrasya asya prasam. This is the importance. So how these padarthas are going to be helpful to dhatu samya. So this information should reach. Padartha ityuktam karanam. Whatever the ityuktam. So whatever is being discussed till now is the karana, and karya is dhatu samya. So with this Shat Padarthas, everything is embedded. This dhatu samya is because of this Shat Padarthas only. That's information should be. How it will be useful? Dhatu samya, kriya chokta, tantrasya asya prayojana. So prayojanam, the purpose of this medical science, Ayurveda, is dhatu samyata. How this dhatu samyata will be this what you call this get. You are supposed to, if you want to get Dhatu Samya, you are supposed to utilize certain these karanas. Those are Shat Padarthas. Next slide, please. Sarvada Sarva Samanyam Vruddhi Karanam Hrasa Hetur Visheshaha Cha Pravrutti Ubhayashatu. This is the most important. Pravrutti Ubhayashatu. So Chakrapani has given the clear explanation about the Pravrutti Ubhayashatu and Sarvada Sarvasmin Kale Nityage Avastakecha. So Sarvasmin Kale means Nityage and Avastake. So at all times, always, during all times, Nityaga, ever moving, and Avastika, and conditional. And here, Sarva Bhavanam iti atra, Sarva Shabdaha, Krichnavachi, Sarva Shabdaha, and Bhavanti, Sattam Anubhavanti iti Bhava. Bhava Padarthas. What are Bhava Padarthas? Dravya, Guna, and Karma. These are the three Bhava Padarthas. And the Sarva Bhavanam means applicable to only Dravya, Guna, and Karma. And Sarva refers to the entire and Bhava refers to the existing one, Dravya, Guna and Karma, and not going to be produced. Whatever is being existed, that is known as Sarva Bhavanam. It is not going to be produced, cannot be, comes under this category. That's what Chakrapani quoted. Next slide, please. So, Samanyam cha, Samanyam Ekatvakaram Ityadina, Vachyamana Lakshanam, Vruddhihi Adhikyam, Tat Karanam Vruddhi Karanam. Vruddhihi Adhikyam. So, whatever is being responsible for the augmentation is known as Vruddhi. And here, this Gangadhara has quoted this example. Whenever there are 5 Brahmins are there, another Brahmin comes to join with him, the total number is going to become 6. And whenever these 5 Brahmins are associated with one Kshatriya, and they are not going to become 6 Brahmins. There are 5 and 1 Kshatriya. So because the Brahmins 5 and the another one who is going to join him is also having the similarity, whereas Kshatriya is having the dissimilarity. Next slide, please. So here he has given a clear information about this, how this Samanya is going to bring the augmentation. So if at all Sarvada Sarvabhavanam Samanyam Vruddhi Karanam is to be taken as granted as the definition of Samanya, in such circumstances, the flesh, the what you call the vendor who is this what you call selling this meat also should be increase the tissue elements of this what you call some muscular tissue. So he is a vegetarian and he is the only vendor, and he is also every time he is dealing with this what you call this selling this mutton in the shop. That's his profession, and he is associated every time with this mamsa, and he is a vegetarian. And in such a Sarvada Sarvabhavanam Samanyam Vruddhi Karanam means he is associating with this flesh. His muscular tissue should be augmented, increased. It is not happening. Because that's why Pravrutti Ubhayashyatu, Ubhaya Pravrutti. So whenever it is being consumed, whenever it is being taken, then only it is increase or augmentation is going to be happen. So that's why, so a doctor prescribes some medicines and we are purchasing and medicines are with us. So when it is going to be reduced, that disease condition, whenever that medicine is being consumed, simply by purchasing the medicine, keeping in your rack won't serve the purpose. Whenever it is being associated with the body or it is being consumed, it is then only the drug is going to be act. Similarly, the mamsha, even though he is directly dealing with every day his flesh and vending, and in that particular individual, the muscular tissue is not going to be augmented. So the quality of the edible flesh as present outside the body is almost identical with the one present in the muscular tissues of the body. Even then, the edible flesh doesn't cause the augmentation in the muscular tissue of the elements of the body unless the former is taken in. Thus, Samanya alone is not responsible for augmentation. So here he has given that Samanya alone is not going to increase. That's why what he is telling. Lakshanapena vriddhi asnartha karanam bhavati yatharthake bhajavati tatasya nityam asadhamasam adhikarana talashna samanya adhikaranam. Next slide, please. So, samanyasya cha vruddhikaranatvam hi asati virodhikarane bodhavyam. That is the most important. So, samanyasya cha vruddhikaranatvam hi asati virodhikarane. So, virodhikarana lenapudu. Whenever there is no any antagonistic factor, then only the samanya is going to augment. That is the information given. It is not that samanya will always cause augmentation. It will do so only in the absence of inhibiting factors. Next slide, please. So here, tena amalakadigatam amlakatvam amlatvadinam pittagata amlatvadi varthakatvam amalakagata sisiratva prabhavat virodhitvat upapannam evam anyatrapi tridosahara dravye bodhavyam. Okay. So here he has given clear information that Amalaki is having this Amlarasa and Pitta is also having Amlarasa. So if at all Sarvada Sarvabhavanam Samanya Vritikaranam is the Sutra, in such circumstances Amalaki should augment Pitta. Amalaki should this what you call vitiate Pitta or increase Pitta. It is not happening so. Because of this Sisira Guna or Sita Guna or Sita Virya of this Amalaki, it is the inhibiting factor and it is going to decrease this what you call the Pitta dosha or this Amlatva of this one, and Pitta is going to be decreased. This is called the Virodhi Karana. That's why always Samanya is not going to be augmented whenever there should not be any inhibiting factor. Next slide. So here also, ihasya samanyasya vruddhikaranatvam iti uchyate samanyam eva vruddhikaranam. So this is the most important. Natu samanyam eva vruddhikaranam. Samanya is not the only factor for augmentation. So samanya is vruddhikarana, but samanya is not alone the cause for augmentation. It is one of the factors for augmentation. And at times, asamana is also going to increase. For example, Grita. Grita is not equivalent to Agni or Metha. Even though it is asamana, Grita is going to augment this Agni as well as Methas. And also, one more example has given, Chinta, Chintana, anxiety. It is going to increase Vata. And Sankalpa is this determination is going to increase, it acts as Vrishya, and Padalepa is going to act as Sikravriddhikara. So these are all happening because of this Prabhava. And even though these are all not this Samanya, it is going to be increased. So Asamana Bhavas also going to be increased. Next slide. So Samanya Chaiha Vruddhikaranam iti uchyate samanya samanasya iti gamyate nahi sonitam prati mansatvam samana. So here he has given that the flesh is having the similarity with the mansa dhatu of this body or this muscular tissue. And that's why this flesh and this mansa dhatu are having the similarity, samanya. But the mansa is not similar with rakta dhatu. So that is called visesha. This is samana, that is visesha. Next slide, please. So whatever the information given in the Vaisheshika Darshana cannot be applicable for medical science. So that's why Chakrapani opined that whatever is mentioned in Vaisheshika Darshana, you should not take it as the meaning, the original meaning, or this as it is for medical science. In Ayurveda, it should be this is what you call taken as Visishyate Vyavartayati iti. Means that which is distinguished. This meaning should be taken in according to Ayurveda. Next slide, please. So here he has given some examples. Gavetuka. So Gavetuka is Samanya. Suppose you are talking about this Gavetuka 1, 2, 3, 4 grains are there. So you are taking one Gavetuka is equivalent to another Gavetuka or number of Gavetukas. But it is not equivalent to Mansatva. Mansa is different and Gavetuka is different. And Mansatva is not seen in Gavetuka. That's why it is Visesha. Next slide, please. And even though Mansa is also Visesha for Rakta. In the last slide we have seen. So here, similar to Samanya, we are talking about that Visesha is also acting whenever there is no any inhibiting factor. Here, see, Visesha. It's also two types, Viruddha Visesha and Aviruddha Visesha. And we are talking about this, the Mandakam, Dadhi and Nichuka. Okay? And here, Nikucha, that is Artocarpus lacucha, is also known as monkey jaw. So these two should be having the, what you call this, having this Snigdha Guna. So whenever Snigdha Guna is there, what it should be supposed to do? It should decrease Vata. Vata is having Ruksha Guna. And it is we are, this what you call giving this opposite qualities. The drugs which are possessing opposite qualities of Snigdha Guna Dravyas are this giving. In such circumstances, these Nikucha and this Mandaka Dadhi, these should decrease Vata. But it is not happening so because of these two are these unwholesome substances. These are apacha dravyas. So due to this apachatva, even though these two are possessing this Snigdha Guna, they are not going to decrease Vata, they are increasing Vata. So this is called Viruddha Visesha. Next slide, please. So the term, whenever you are talking about Viruddha Visesha, you should, this what you call the same Viruddha Visesha should be applicable for everywhere wherever you are talking about Visesha. And the implication of also mentioned in Ashtanga Hridaya, Vritti Samanais Sarvesham Viparita Vipareyaha. So this is this definition. And also Viparita Gunai Desha Matra Kalopapaditai also. And the reduction takes place due to the contrary of the all aspects of like properties, guna, habitat, desha, and dosage, matra, and period, kala. And also, tatha viparita gunair dravye marutaha samprashamyate. This is also mentioned in Suttasthana, first chapter. And Jatukarna also quoted that samanai sarvabhavanam vruddhihi hani vipariyat. So these are the some of these quotations taken from the same text. Next slide, please. So here, Viruddha Vishesha we are talking about, Aviruddha Vishesha. So here, Aviruddha Vishesha, how it is going to act as this Vishesha. Means here, this Anushna Sita Guna of Prithvi. So Prithvi is having this Anushna Sita Guna and it is not going to increase this Vata and or this either increase or decrease Vata, and ultimately it is going to decrease the Dhatu. How it is happening means, he has example, whenever the dam is being built, the flow of the water is being restricted there and the downward this flow will be restricted. In the same way, whenever the factors are there, the Aviruddha Vishesha factors, and the later dhatus are not going to be augmented. That's why this what you call hrasa, this chaya is going to be taken place. Next slide. Through the above examples, the reduction is seen by means of Aviruddha Vishesha, and similar to Samanya, Vishesha also acts as diminishing factor whenever there will not be any augmented antagonistic agents. This is this general rule. Okay, next slide, please. Now the question arises: how this is going to be acted. Vishesha causes augmentation and diminution without Bhayashyatu, for which this Chakrapani has given the two meanings of this pravrutti, interpreting the last quarter of the verse, that is pravrutti Bhayashyatu. Chakrapani says that both Samanya and Vishesha exert their effects only on contact with the body, otherwise they would remain ineffective. This is the first point. And secondly, the effect equilibrium of dhatus, both of them act simultaneously. This is the most important. So simultaneously, how it is going to be acted? Is it possible? So can you do the two works at a time? What is, how it's? No. I'm talking about not the dravyas, yourself. Can you do two acts simultaneously? No. Two actions. Whenever you are writing, okay, so you are writing this notes, and can you attend somewhere, or you can do another work? Pardon? Due to the effect? Ekatva, yeah, right. Correct. Yeah, right. So the sentience, the human beings cannot do, but the drugs can. Drugs can. That's what he is going to trying to do. Yes. Correct. Drugs can do. So that's why he has quoted two examples. Next slide, please. So suppose Tena kevala samana upayogat dhatu vruddhya dhatu vaishamya. So kevala samana vruddhi, samana dravyas. You are trying to use only samana dravyas. Dhatu vruddhi vaishamya. Kevala vishesha dravya upayoga going to dhatu chaya vaishamya. Both are vaishamya. So we want this dhatu samya, for which how it is going to be acted. Kevala vruddhi is not going to serve any purpose. Chaya is also not going to serve any purpose. Our purpose is to bring back the normalcy of the doshas. That is our aim. Okay. So yugapat samana visishta dravya upayogat pravrutti dhatu samya rupa bhavati iti uktam bhavati. Okay. So tu shabdaha, what is the pravrutti ubhayashyatu? Tu shabdaha purva paksha eka dravya upayoga lakshana dravyat Vyavartayate. Okay. Two refers to separating the use of only one type of substances and infers the simultaneous use of both Samanya and Vishesha Dhatu Samya. Next. So here Samanyam Ekatvakaram Visheshastu Prithak. So what he is telling is Samanya. Suppose a group of cows are there, and you can count wherever the cows are there, here or any place, anywhere, and any time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I am go. And similarly, we are talking about this Pachaka. This is a Kriya. So he is doing Pachaka. He is somewhere, some other person, and I am Pachako. So here the Varna. So I am Shweta. So here, what he is trying to give the information is not only Dravya, and also the action as well as the quality is also going to augment. So here, Pachaka 1, Pachaka 2. Whatever he is, of course, he is cooking something, Still, they are all cooking. I am Pachaka. Right? So here also Guna. The quality. This is white. This car is white. This earth is white. Like so. Next slide, please. So there are three types of this Samanya and Vishesha. The types Dravya Samanya, Guna Samanya, and Karma Samanya, and Dravya Vishesha, Guna Vishesha, Karma Vishesha. And examples also quoted about this. Mamsa is directly Dravya Samanya. Paya is going to increase this Shukra, this because of Guna, and Swapna also going to augment this Kapha because of this Karma, and Atyanta Samanya, Madhyam Samanya. So after discussing all these things, Bhattar Harishchandra has denied this sort of classification. This is no use. what he's told. Just you refer this commentary and you try to understand what he's trying to communicate. Next slide, please. So it is stated that meat increases flesh due to similarity and decreases vata due to dissimilarity. And here the question arises that one and the same substance exhibits simultaneously two entirely opposite actions. This is what we are trying to do. So here he has quoted, Nahi devadatto eva kumbham karoti tadaiva kandam api. So one person, Devadatta, kumbham is a picture and kandam is a arrow. The meaning of kanda is arrow. So nahi devadatto eva kumbham karoti tadaiva kandam api. He cannot fabricate picture as well as this arrow at a time. But naivam kriyavatamayam dharmo na kriyavatam iti tatha hi shabdo yugapat anekaneva shabdan ekakalam arabhate. Shabdas. So what you call this? Waves, sound waves. Sound waves will be produced many a number at a time. Similarly, tatha agnihi prakasha dahau yugapat karoti. So Agni can give this simultaneously, the prakasha, light as well as this hotness. But whereas Devadatta cannot do these two things or two actions at a time. Next slide, please. So here, Devadatta cannot manufacture two things simultaneously, the picture and the arrow. This simile of sentient and insentient is not logical, as one sound wave gives rise to so many other sound waves. The fire produces light and heat simultaneously. So whatever we are talking about this, that cannot be applicable for both sentience as well as insentience. That is the point to be highlighted. Tasmad bheshajam samyak avacharyamanam yugapat न्यूनातिरिक्तानां धातूनां साम्यकरं भवति अधिकम अपकर्षयति न्यूनम आप्यायति. This is the principle. Next slide. As said, it is that even wholesome diet doesn't increase dhatus of old man, of the seeds and the excess vitiation of dhatus. So this is how it is going to happen. So even though you are supplementing highest nutritious food, it is not going to fetch a lot for the old age persons. Similarly, during summer, whenever you are using the sweet substances and other these kapha provoking these factors, it is not going to augment kapha because of this inhibiting factors. Here the inhibiting factor for old age, excessive vitiation of dhatus are not going to augment the what you call the tissues in the old portion, and also due to the hotness of summer, the kapha is not going to be increased even though he is consuming the kapha vardhaka ahara. Next slide, please. The samanya causes increase only in the absence of contradictory factor. This is the important. So asati cha virodhake samanyam vruddhi karanam iti siddhantah. Finally, he has concluded that. So whenever there is no any contradictory factor, then only samanya is going to augment. And similarly, similar to samanya, vishesha also acts as diminishing factor whenever there will not be any antagonistic factor. Next slide, please. So thank you very much. I think my intention to come over here is only to interact with you. Everything, whatever has been dealt, you are aware of all these things. But my intention is this information should reach to the freshers at the initial level itself. That's only my intention. Okay? Thank you very much. And in the evening, so I would like to deal with this one topic, that importance of history of Ayurveda.
Hello. Sir, it was an excellent presentation. Because to make understanding at the PG level, the paper will be very helpful. And exact paper I will present to my students also. सर क्या है ना, अभी तक मेरा जो ज्ञान है वो आपने जैसे बताया खरवत ही है. खरवत बताया ना सर ने. हमारे गांव में कहावत है सर, जिसके पास लाज नहीं होते वो सीख सकते, वो ज्ञान लाभ कर सकते हैं। और जो कृपण होते हैं, कृपण मतलब कंजूस होते हैं, वही पैसा जमा कर सकते हैं। तो इसके लिए भी मेरा लाज भी छोड़ देता हूँ। और बाकी तो मेरे फ्रेंड्स है, तो फ्रेंड के पास तो सामने तो लाज की कोई बात नहीं होती। सर मेरा एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन है, कभी कभी बच्चे पूछ लेते कि ये वायु तो उसका वायु महाभूत है, वो लघु है, और कप जो है उसमें जल और पृथ्वी महाभूत है, वो गुरु है। लेकिन स्थान जब बताया वो वात को नीचे बताया पक्वाशय में, और कप को बताया ऊर्ध्व आमाशय में। ये तो नीचे होना चाहिए था, वायु ऊपर होना चाहिए था। सो उसका आंसर क्या होगा सर, काइंडली बता दीजिए सर।
उनका कोई ना खुद का स्थान बताया था ना, स्थान बताया था। ओके ओके, स्थान है वो तो नो, पक्वा से नहीं, वात का स्थान पूरा शरीर है, पूरा शरीर में वात है, पूरा शरीर में पित्त है, पूरा शरीर में कफ है। सो व्हाट ही हैज कोटेड इज द प्रधान स्थान, प्रधान स्थान विशेष, बस इतना है, बस इतना। सो पक्वाशय विशेष में तो पक्वाशय में होता है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई टू ट्रीट दैट पर्टिकुलर दिस विशेषित वाता, the specific treatment modality also has been mentioned, right? Okay, and what is your it is not what, it's everywhere, it is everywhere. Urus means that is the base. What are the physiological functions are being taken place according to this what you call the dominance of kapha, and for the suppose this what you call this the digestion is there, and what you are supposed to get and how it should be digested. Because of that, it has been given this prominent place, and it's everywhere now, everywhere.
There is one saying कि हमारा शरीर जब रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं हम ऊर्ध्व मूल अधः शाखा बोलते हैं। सो उस हिसाब से ये बेस है, उस हिसाब से। और दूसरा ये है कि जो मूल होता है स्थायी होता है, स्थिर होता है, और शाखाएं चल होती हैं। तो उस हिसाब से क्योंकि शाखाओं में वात होना जरूरी है, की वजह से पाद में है, तो शायद वात का नीचे, और क्योंकि स्थायी गुण मन जो हम मानते हैं कि हृदय और सिर में हम कह सकते हैं मेन अधिष्ठान है मन का, स्थायी गुण आवश्यक है, शायद इसलिए कफ को यहाँ पे और वात को नीचे बताया गया हो। ये एक, हाँ भाई हमारा ऊर्ध्वमूल, हाँ ऊर्ध्वमूल अधः शाखा, वो एक कॉन्सेप्ट लगता है।
Actually, in Panchavati,